is the Weigh-In Podcast by Ben Chestnut and the occasional popping Sebastian Merrill. On this week's Weigh-In, we have Mario Barrios, the WBC World Welterweight Champion, versus Ryan Garcia. That will take place at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on February 21st. So we have that card to break down for you today because it is a stacked good card and the promotion is TGB Promotions. Looks like it's the promotion on it as well as it'll be broadcasted with the zone. So with that being said, that is this week's weigh-in. So if we jump right into this one, first of all, TGB Promotions taking it over. That's not. I'm not surprised at that. TGB taking it over. That's not. I'm not surprised on that taking it over. But let's kind of get into this. First of all, first and foremost, I'm not gonna make it any differently or any other differently. All I'm going to say is I got King Rye. The way Manny Pacquiao went in there and fought Barrios, I got King Rye. King Rye, I think he could do the job right. Granted, he makes the weight. Now, I know I make jokes on Ryan Garcia not making weight. Granted, he makes the weight. I got King Rye. Granted, he gets it right. I think Ryan Garcia gets in there and does it correctly. And we got some other good guys on this card. We got Oscar Duarte. We got Oscar. This is one that I'm going to like. We have Richard Hutchinson versus Oscar Duarte. Oscar Duarte is 32 in one draw, and Richardson is 20-0 for the IBF World Super Lightweight title. That's going to be good. And that's the co-main. That's the crazy one. That's the co-main. Then if you don't if that isn't good enough for you, we got Gary. Let me see. Yeah, Gary Antoine Russell at a record of 18-1 for the WBA World Super Lightweight title on the line against a 24-0 Andy Hachikara. I think that's how you say it, Hachikara. But I apologize in advance for the butchering. I've been trying to do better on the names, but I can't get them all. Hachikara. And then if that ain't got you right, we got Nair Albright and Frank Martin. We all know who Frank Martin is. Frank Martin fought Tank Davis. We know that Frank Martin. Then you got as a preliminary, you got Amari Jones and Luis Aris. So then before that, last one on the main card, it looks like you got Senna Ajabiko, the African assassin, they call him, up against Beromir Merguchikov, I think is the. I got this so wrong. You know what? I'm gonna get that one right for you because I just don't like. I'm gonna see if I could get a good pronunciation of that because I don't like that I totally butchered that. I know I butchered that. So let's see if I could get a good pronunciation of that because like I told y'all, I don't like butchering names no more. I kind of like doing what's right and getting these correct. So let's see what it is. Bektemir Melikusiev. That's who he's Bektemir Melikusiev. There we go. I got it for y'all. And he's Bektemir Melikusiev. And you know what? Let me get this other name right. Let me get this other name right. The African assassin. Let me try to see if I can get his right. Bektemir Melekusiov. So y'all, I told you I try to get these names, these pronunciations right, the best I can. Low key, I try to do the best I can. Let's see. Sena Agbeko. So we got. So that's what his name is. Sena Agbeko. It's Bermir Tvedbrowski and Sena Agbeko. Those are the last guys on the main card, but nonetheless, I'm gonna give you my prediction. I got Garcia. I think if we get a good King Rye, I think we could get a TKO KO here. You know, for the fight after, you know what? Let me start from the bottom. I got I got Jones. I got Jones winning by scorecard over Aries. Murgatsakov, I got Murgatsakov winning, and I think there's gonna be a TKO KO there with Frank Martin. I got Frank Martin winning by points over Albright, Hachikora, Hachirora. I have Hachirora winning over Antoine Russell, only because I'm gonna explain this one to you. Let me see if I can pull it up. Russell got beat before. Hachirora has not been beat, and what we've learned a lot is that region. I say that region around there because Andy Hachiora is they call him the Blade. Hachiora is he is from Japan. That region, as we know, we have I don't think that region has had an undisputed. I say that region, that area has had an undisputed boxer before. Let me see the undisputed boxers right now. It was that flyweight. I think. I don't think he was. Yeah, I know who it is. It's a I'm looking it up now for y'all. Yes, he was. He was Japanese. He was. I didn't want to get that wrong, because we have a lot of people that watch this podcast, and I don't like to get a culture wrong. His name is Nayo Achi. I think that's what it is, but either way, I'm gonna get the pronunciation correct for y'all. But he's undisputed. He's undisputed. But that's what I'm talking about. So I just wanted. That's why I said that region. But really, it has been really good boxing that I've seen from these Japanese boxers, and I like it. And I like it for very well reasons. They're boxing very well right now because a lot of them have in that region. There's a lot of Floyd Money Mayweather going out there into that area and having some fights. And I think they're learning from that. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot of good Japanese boxers come out. I don't know. I think it was that. I'm gonna say that region again. Um, I think it was that region when it in terms of Floyd Money Mayweather. But we will definitely check on that. We will definitely check on that for y'all so we could get it right, so that we could get you the right pronunciation and all that on this on that. So here we go. Jawa and Niue is what they say. That's who I'm referring to. Now, I think Floyd, let's see if we can figure out that Floyd real quickie, that Floyd. Yes, yes, it was Japan. Yeah, that's right. It was Japan. It was Japan. where they had the whole thing going down where Floyd was fighting. So that's why I'm talking about that these guys, you can't say they're not learning. You can't say they're not. You could learn from somebody by watching them. Like, you watch a boxer spar, you watch him get ready. It's just so much people can learn. We talked about this on our wrestling epis that it's so much you can learn by just a film. So, we got that going on. So as we get back to this, the Antoine Russell, I got Achikora. I told you I had Achikora. The Hutchison Duarte, everybody might not agree with me on this, but this is that one that I think, I'm going to tell you straight. A lot of people would think I would go Hutchinson because Hutchinson 20-0. But I think if we get a good Oscar Duarte, I'm not counting Oscar Duarte out. I get Hutchinson's 20-0. Don't get me wrong. He's 20-0. Hutchinson is the favorite for this fight, but if we get a good Oscar Duarte, there's no telling what could happen. Because Oscar's not bad, but he did, Ryan Garcia did, take care of all that. But so, I'm gonna go Richardson, but I'm not counting out Oscar Duarte there. But I'm going Richardson because he's 20-0. He's got it done. But I'm not counting out Oscar Duarte. Now, the big one, everybody, I think I've already kind of told you guys where I'm at with this. I got Ryan Garcia over Barrios. I got Garcia over Barrios all day, every day. And that's because I think King Rye can do it. I think King Rye can go in there and make some noise. Now, granted, he should take his belt. He should snatch another belt. He should snatch a belt. Not another one. I should say snatch a belt. But he's got to do the right thing here. He's got to make the weight on the scale. He's got to make the weight. We talked about this. Weight making has been on our epis for quite some time, and he's got to make the weight. He's got to make the weight. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna plain simple. He's got to make the weight. Ryan Garcia is notorious for coming in and not wanting to make the weight correctly. I'm not gonna sit here and say Ryan should what he should or shouldn't do. Ryan Garcia has to make the weight, plain simple. We all know that. If Ryan's not gonna make the weight, you're gonna put yourself at risk for, if you beat him, you're not even gonna get that belt. Because that's what happened with, no matter what everybody says, what happened with that Devin Haney. Because we all know, whatever the case was with that Devin Haney, low key. We all know what happened there, but we ain't gonna be throwing no major shade, We ain't gonna be throwing no major shade. For real, for real. We ain't gonna throw no shade on this. We all know Ryan Garcia should have snatched the belt that night, but he didn't make the weight on the scale. We just talked about this last week about the UFC fighter went in there and tried the Daniel Cormier, the towel trick, and got caught. Got caught. You cannot. We can't stress this enough here on the pod, although we are not weight-making professionals or mental health professionals. I always tell you that because we're always instructed to say that. We have to. But you got to make the weight first. Like, you got a big fight. You beat the guy. You got to make the weight, y'all. Make your weight. I just can't make it up. I can't make it up. You got to make the weight. So I think in terms of King Rye, I think we got a good thing going. I think it's really good, and that's what I'm telling you is plain simple. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I look at it. That's the way I am about it. It's plain simple. You got to make your weight. This is a good thing for King Ryan Garcia and all of that, and everything going on. And this is all good stuff for Ryan Garcia. But when I look at Ryan Garcia here, I look at somebody that's got to figure out everything he needs to do. Ryan Garcia's got to figure out what he needs to do and not to do. I think that's one of the first and foremost things we have to look at is what is Ryan Garcia doing and not doing. I think that's the biggest way to look at this is you got to make your weight, Rye. You got to make your weight, Rye. You're not gonna make your weight. Why keep getting into these events and you're not gonna make your weight? We got to start seeing Ryan Garcia make weight because we cannot keep seeing Ryan Garcia no making weight, no doing what he's supposed to. Ryan Garcia has got to make. He's got to make his weight. He's got to make his weight. He's got to. And I don't know how else more to tell King Rye or what he's got to do. He's got to make weight because if he doesn't make his weight, we're putting ourselves in a dangerous way that if you win the match, you're not going to get the belt, and you deserve if you win to get the belt. So it's a real interesting situation. It's a real interesting sitch. What's going on? Real interesting sitch for King Rye. I think that's a good thing going on. I think Ryan's doing the best he can, but you got to come in here and you got to be Barrios. I think I would like to see a KO TKO from Garcia. I'd like to see good old Ryan Garcia back to action, doing the things we want to see from Ryan Garcia because that's the best thing we could do here. That's the best thing we could do here for King Rye is get the best matchups for King Rye to get done because this is a good fight for Ryan. I think it's really good. I think when you look at Ryan Garcia, I think it's good odds for Garcia. I think it's good for Garcia, but don't fight how you fought Rolly. If you fight how you fought Rolly, we ain't gonna see nothing happening. Man, that's nothing but the truth. That's nothing but the truth. We just ain't gonna see nothing happen, and that's what's gonna happen here. And I say that because we want to see Ryan Garcia take that vic. We want to see Garcia get back to victory because I want to see Ryan Garcia box well. Here, I have nothing against Ryan Garcia. You went in there and you fought what many thought was going to be a win against Tank. You went in there. You let Devin Haney talk all that trash. You talk some trash. You go in there and you beat him. You beat him. Then all of a sudden they find a reason. They find a reason to say why Devin Haney shouldn't have got that loss. That's another thing. That's another thing. We talk about Devin Haney. And let's talk about that Devin Haney. That Devin Haney, y'all. Let's talk about that Devin Haney, y'all. What kind of Devin Haney we want right now? Let's talk about Devin Haney. Let's talk about that Devin Haney. Let's talk about Devin Haney for a minute. For a minute. Let's talk about that Devin Haney. Because we have not seen him give himself a challenging fight like we want to see. So let's see. Let's see who his last fight was. Let's see Devin Haney's last fight. His last fight was against Norman. That was in November. He defeated Brian Norman Jr. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Yo, why I just now seeing this? Devin Haney won the WBO, but it looked like in one of these pictures, it could be AI, but it's posted by Yahoo Sports, so I know it's not AI. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. He biting the belt. He biting the belt. He's biting the belt. Yo, I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't mean to drop that. I ain't mean to drop that. I ain't mean to drop that for y'all. But he's biting the belt. Like, what are you doing? But since we're on that Devin Haney talk, let's find out who the next fight for Devin, if he even got one scheduled. Ooh, 4 days ago, There was a post. Devin Haney calls out Shakur. Y'all, y'all, you know what I'm gonna say now. Devin Haney, Shakur. We need to make it happen. We need to make it happen. I need to see that. I need to see it. Because I don't think the way I saw Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia, no matter what, if everybody likes to say Garcia was juiced up, whatever, I don't think he beat Shakur. I give Shakur credit here. I don't think Devin Haney beats Shakur. I don't think so. Somebody gonna lose their if they can schedule that. Oh, now there's also posted by Ring Magazine. Devin Haney's willing to defend WBO title against Keyshawn Davis. Get Devin Haney wouldn't even beat Keyshawn Davis. He wouldn't beat Keyshawn Davis. No, no, no. I don't think Devin Haney would beat Keyshawn Davis. I'm sorry, but y'all, I don't think Devin Haney's beating Keyshawn Davis. If Devin Haney, I want him to schedule Shakur or Keyshawn because I want somebody to snatch his after what they did with that Garcia stuff. You without getting into the particulars here, you knew beforehand Garcia what they say tested before the fight. You still put the fight on. You still wanted to fight. Then after the fight, let's back it up. After that fight's over, now you back it up. You say, "Oh, he tested for this and that." Come on now. You knew before the fight, and you still wanted to go through with it. You got beat. Now you use that as a reason to get your O back. I want somebody to take his O, bro. I get a lot of you guys like Devin Haney and say he cool, but I want somebody to snatch that O, man. That's not how you do boxing, man. You want to put something on knowing somebody has, taken a banned substance, something that they're not supposed to. Let's put it that way. Something they're not supposed to. Then you say, okay, hey, that's it. They took something they're not supposed to. That's it, y'all. Like, that's it. You want to fight? You fight. You go and say they take something they're not supposed to. I don't want to fight. Then you don't put it on. They looked at how much money they was going to make. They said, oh, we're going to put the fight on. He still ain't going to beat us. And they wasn't. I'm not going to speak to the nature of what is and what. I'm not going to speak to the nature of what is and what wasn't. But I'm going to speak to the nature of what is and what wasn't. I'm telling y'all, had Devin Haney beat King Rye, they would have never came out with that. It would have never came out. That's because Devin Haney got beat. He got beat. And let me tell you, I'm going to bring it a step further. Vitaly Lomachenko beat Devin Haney. That was the first time his loss should have got it. I don't care what anybody says. I felt like Vitaly won. I felt like Loma won that fight. I felt like Loma won that fight. People could disagree with me all they want, all you want to do, but I felt like Loma did what he had to do. And they gave the fight to Devin Haney. Listen, that same way, I'll tell you again, I felt like Lamont Roach beat Tank Davis. They called it a draw. Don't get me. Hey. And I also felt like Lamont Roach beat Aesop, but they called it a draw. Look. I'm not sitting here saying nothing for nothing, but Devin Haney has lost his O multiple times, and magically they find a way so he doesn't lose his O. So go ahead. Schedule Keyshawn. Schedule Shakur. He won't beat neither of them. And I'm perfectly fine if y'all come out and prove me wrong and say, oh, look. Haney won. Devin Haney won. He won the fight. Listen, y'all could go and give me the I told you so. Y'all do it now. All the time when I say somebody going to win and they lose, like I said, Jake Paul was going to win. I can't even start to tell you guys how many people. It was people. It was more people that I don't know how this happened, but it was more people sending me about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua than there was people that watched the video. I'm like, bruh, what? More people coming out and saying, oh, you wrong. Anthony Joshua tore up Jake Paul. I'm like, damn, guys, I get it. I was wrong. Like, woo. They were sending it everywhere. Bro, all our social medias, man, we had them things through the roof. But, oh, you was wrong. I'm like, I'm okay with being wrong sometimes, but I'm not gonna be wrong with this Devin Haney. Shakur will whoop his behind. Shakur will whoop him. Keyshawn Davis will whip him. Plain simple. Plain simple. I believe it. I believe it. And if they tell me, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think I will be because the multiple people have gone and beat Devin Haney, and then all of a sudden, magically, they find a way. Like Loma beat him. Oh, now I'm not saying it's anything. We all know how judging goes. Everybody's gonna look at it like they do. Y'all have agreed before, not agreed before with my scorecards. Obviously, when I said back when Angelino fought, I had Angelino over Yacanel, and y'all was like, no, you had that scorecard wrong. I still to this day say that was Angelino's fight all day. But at the same time, like y'all say, I always have my scorecard the way it is. I always do. And y'all, there's a lot of times y'all say, oh, I don't agree with that. That's why this is a podcast. Podcast, you disagree or you agree. Y'all always disagree with what I say. And then there was one time somebody disagreed so far, they was like, oh, they said something, I forgot on what platform. They said something, it was like, oh, I disliked your video because I didn't agree. I'm like, okay, and I didn't nobody's forcing you to watch the video. You choose to watch it and then you disagree with it. Hey, that's why it has a dislike button on YouTube. Like I kind of was like, what was the point of telling me you disliked my video? Like, y'all understand, man. I grind out, and like a lot of people, some people take some of that stuff personal. Like me, I answer the best comments I can, and I try to keep the podcast in the section we have it in. Like we try to stay out of our do nots. Like there's time and time again, y'all will catch me. I slip a curse word or two. I try not to do that because listen, y'all, as much as we want to be the guys, the gals, we have a lot of families that watch the weigh-in. And I get that all the time. They're like, we thank you for how clean you are. They say there's sometimes you drop a line or two, but you make sure in editing you get it out. Yo, I try to. There's a couple times people have gotten at me about stuff I've left in the videos. And I've had to like go back and edit videos, which is why I love YouTube so much. That you can edit on YouTube. So sometimes I'll remove certain stuff because my mouth will get the best of me on a lot of that stuff. Like this epi, it happens, y'all. It happens, y'all. I'm not trying to say that I'm wrong, right, but it happens, y'all. It happens more than many like to believe, and for me, I don't like it, but it happens, y'all. It happens, y'all. It really does happen. And I try so hard not to let it happen. But we all know how that goes. It happens. It happens. So with y'all, we are like drawing near the end of this epi. I wanted to give you a little bit of my opinion. Obviously, we got sidetracked because we're going over boxes and then I decided to make it a let loose on accident. But obviously, I try to keep it the best way I can for y'all. I've been doing these epis for a while. We are actually in year number 2 of this because last year we went one whole year full posting. Great, we're in year 2, posting left and right. Don't worry. The one thing I said for this year, I want to work on more guests, y'all. I'm doing that. I'm gonna get to it. I keep putting that off, but I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna see what I can get for you, but nonetheless, I'm trying to keep this away in y'all. I'm gonna keep posting for y'all. So with that being said, this is the weigh-in by Ben Rochester and the occasional pop-in Sebastian Romero, and this is all I got for you today. Some of these episodes are really chill. There's another really chill one I brought for y'all because some of them are really chill, and some of them where you have like big fights, they lined up. Where it's like 4 or 5 fight cards. You got big UFC, you got big boxing on the same night. Like you can't always have that. So when we had these chill epis, It's the beginning of the year. We're going to continue to monitor that UFC White House event. You know, there's some good, interesting developments coming out, rumors coming out. But when they finalize that, you just know we're going to break that down for you. We're going to break it down. But nonetheless, this is the weigh-in. So that's all I got for you. Weigh-in out.
The weigh-in where stories ignite.